Now, ozone layer. I'm pretty sure most of you heard about it, but I'm going to talk about what effect does it have on human body. Okay, basically bad to human. It's going to burn your skin tissues and skin will burn and higher percentage of getting skin cancer. Nothing really major. And this is why our body tans, not to look sexy, but to protect our skin tissue. But okay, if it's hot, then we can just turn on the AC or open our refrigerator and just Netflix and chill. Well, sucks to you because that's what's breaking down our precious ozone layer. How do you ask? Well, let's get a bit smaller. If I tell just the important part of the ozone layer is just a thick layer of O3. For starters who don't know chemistry at all, it's the combination of three oxygen particle. One O stands for one oxygen particle, but these particles aren't Legos that you can just put together and shape it as you will. You need some specific orders and rules to follow to change one chemical to another. For example, to make a half element that you put together two elements squished together by force, you need half the speed of light speed or heat it up by 1 million degrees. But some elements react each other, creating another element to change something else, some other element. Now let's put this law to our precious ozone layer. And now we're back to O3. O3 is highly reactive to chlorine, and if you don't know what chlorines are, it's what makes swimming pool smell. If this chlorine's managed to go all the way up to the ozone layer, then it starts combining with O3. And once chlorine meets the ozone layer, well, technically, one chlorine steals one O from O3. That makes ClO, chlorine and one oxygen particle, and remainder of two oxygen particle. In other words, the chlorine is deactivating the function of ozone layer by taking away one oxygen particle from O3, which is supposed to protect us from the sun. But where is all this chlorine coming from? Well, now the AC and the refrigerator that I mentioned above comes in. Now it's all banned, but just a few years ago, freon gas was an absolute need use of AC and refrigerator, and in some cases even in IT. Freon gas is a very stable that you can use as refrigerants. Not only that, since it's so stable, it rarely reacts to other objects. But what is the matter of freon gas, you ask? Well, as you predicted, this freon gas contains two chlorine elements. Well, but science can do anything. HFC, a freon gas that doesn't contain chlorine. Okay, done. Now we get why the ozone layer is getting destroyed. Now let's go back to the first question in case you didn't already forget. It was what effect does human have if there's a hole in the ozone layer? But there's a bit more to that I forgot to mention is the problem of sun itself and the problem of higher temperature is not just a skill illness. First things first, high temperature can directly lead to super hurricanes and super tornado. Well, if you live in the middle of the continent and there's no sea around you and you don't have to worry about hurricanes or tornado, well, too bad. That's only a fraction what the higher temperature can do. Well, if it isn't already too obvious, it's global warming that just everybody talks about. And since we're talking about human effect, and I'm predicting most of you know what global warming is, I'm going to skip that part. But instead, I'm going to talk about the sun itself. Now, the sun that gives Earth life and nutrients and everything, well, it makes light and energy by nuclear reaction. Yes, nuclear reaction, and from that, it makes a big solar flare or solar wind that contains radiation so strong they can wipe out ozone layer in a snap of his fingers. Just like that.
No, 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 hell no, 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 I refuse, no, no.
But fortunately, Earth's magnetic field deflects most of the solar wind and most of the radiation as well. And if we don't have ozone layer and if there's a big hole in it, it'll be just a pouring radiation above our head. Maybe the X-Men universe can actually happen in about a century and world filled of mutant and superpower. But the real world doesn't give you a super healing factor or some awesome superpowers. in Fukushima in 2011. From this leak, there was 1,000 reports of animal mutation, and just have a look. Radiation can affect our DNA and change us looking something totally different, and so do the world leaders. So, fortunately, they all agree to ban the freon gas that contains chlorine.